Good morning. Welcome into Five Clubs here on Golf Channel. Great to have you with us on this Tuesday morning. You can, of course, listen as well. That is Channel 92 on SiriusXM's PGA Tour Radio. This program always brought to you by Century Insurance. If you have business insurance needs, they can meet them. Plus, they invest in golf in big ways with their partnership with the USGA and the First Tee. Golf Pride, when it comes to options and the quality of their materials, nobody can touch Golf Pride. That's why they are trusted by more players around the world at every level. Peter Millar, when it comes to the things you need, whatever you do, whatever your lifestyle is, they have you covered. They have refined performance, luxury, and style for almost 25 years. And of course, Pinehurst, they are the cradle of American golf. They've just opened the new clubhouse at number 10. They've got a new restaurant coming at the main resort this fall. Construction of number 11 will start soon enough. That is why there's always a good reason to be booking a trip to Pinehurst. All right, on this Tuesday, we don't do this every week. One, because their schedules don't permit it. Plus, it might be unhealthy. Because steak for breakfast every day, come on, there's only so much protein we can have. But when we get them, we love it. Johnson, Wagner, Brendon de Jonge, their program on Monday nights on SiriusXM's PGA Tour Radio. We get them on a Tuesday morning. Wagyu Filet. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, G-Dub. Good to be with you.
Good to see you guys. Whole hour. Looking forward to diving in. I'm plowing through a lot of stuff. You were just on a little family vacation. Refreshed?
Maybe. I think sometimes you go on vacations you need a vacation from. I think this is one of them. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. The dogs were there, queen size bed and 2 dogs in the bed. No, I need some sleep.
You are off. You will be in the studio this week on Golf Channel for the first FedEx Cup playoff event. You just came off being in studio all week for the last regular season event and the final women's major of the year alongside Mel Reed. I know you enjoyed that. Good to have you both here. Guys, there's a lot to get to because we want to look ahead over the next 3 weeks, but I also want to get your thoughts on what we've seen because this season it seems like it takes a long time, but it's over. I mean, it's over. And as we look ahead, first of all, the biggest star, or maybe, I don't know if you guys still think Rory is the biggest star, is not in the field this week. Let's just get that out of the way. How does the tour handle this? Whether it's him or anybody else, you structure this series, you want all of your best players to make a statement. It's your final thing before you kind of go away a little bit. How do you handle this?
I mean, it's Rory's option whether he wants to play or not.
No question.
It's listen, you can't force guys to play. You've got a $20 million purse out there, which seems very much like a draw to me. But is that enough? Obviously not for Rory McIlroy. Feels like he needs some more time off, not playing. I get it. I do understand.
It's a slog, the playoffs, when you have Memphis and Atlanta kind of bookending it, 2 of the hottest places. It is.
Baltimore is not some respite either.
It's an endurance test. I mean, you go back last year, Denny McCarthy before Memphis took a sweat test and had his own little powder concoction created for what his body lost playing a week in Memphis. So I totally understand. Rory also doesn't have a great track record around TPC Southwind. But
it's him this year, so let's just, this is not some deconstruction of him.
No.
It's whoever it might be. One of the biggest stars in your sport is making a choice not to play in an event that is a series that you have always branded as your postseason. And he's taking the first one off. Yes, his record is what it is. And I will say in his defense specifically, guy went to Houston this year. What a boost that was for that event.
Yep.
He honors what was in the aftermath of winning in Zurich, returning there. That's his first return after winning the green jacket. What a boost that is. So he does buoy these other events in the absence of not being at the first postseason event.
It's just, my whole thing is FedEx has been such an integral part of the PGA Tour since 2007, the inception of the FedEx Cup. And all of us that have played the tour or currently play the tour owe them a ton for our retirement accounts, for everything that we've gotten. And Rory's a 3-time champion of the FedEx Cup. You would like to see players, and maybe the tour has to start mandating, unless you're injured. Well, I don't know how you can mandate that.
Sure.
You can come up with an injury pretty easy, but if you don't play, there are no bye weeks in the PGA Tour playoffs. If you don't play, you're out. I think that's the only way to fix it.
Yeah, I think that's the worrying thing. Like, Rory not playing, does it set a precedent now where moving forward we're going to see a bunch of guys taking the first week off? Like, that to me is kind of the worrying one.
Right, and with the structure of the FedEx Cup going forward, of the Tour Championship, where you just have to be there, and if you win the FedEx Cup, like, he doesn't have to play the BMW either.
Yeah, if you've had a good enough regular season, do you need these events, or do you just show up for the Tour Championship?
Right. So I think that's part of the problem, is that the way the Tour has now structured these playoffs, that there's no incentive for someone who's in that top 5 to even show up to the first 2.
No, and the other part of it is, even at the Wyndham, and listen, any company that invests in golf, I applaud them, I appreciate them. I was saying this yesterday about Comcast. They had this season-long structure for rewarding performance in the regular season, but because, and it's not just Scotty Scheffler, it was 8 of the top 10 who were in that category to take home a haul of cash. I mean, that's a lot of millions of dollars, and 8 of the 10 didn't have to be there because they were pretty much either slotted where they were before the week began, or they said, you know what, that $1.5 million, possibly, you know what, I'll sit it out. That's another thing that we'll get to a little bit later on in terms of all this bonus money. I get it. I don't begrudge any of it. But if it's going to exist, it should be a storyline, and I actually think it's not. And I wonder how that could be reclaimed at a time where there's so much cash being thrown at these players, whether it's to, hold on to their loyalty to the PGA Tour in the event that they may flirt with LIV or not. I just feel like when Bill Haas, and this wasn't a million years ago, or Brandt Snedeker or Billy Horschel, whoever, you're like, oh my God, they just won $10 million. Well, Scotty Scheffler is going to make $18 million before he even gets to Eastlake, and nobody even really kind of knows.
Because of, if you're number 1 on the playoffs after the BMW, you still get a big bonus.
Yeah, he got the Comcast bonus, so he got that. He's going to get what is the restructured bonus pool for the FedEx Cup playoffs, which is another 8. That's 18. He's guaranteed another 5 for being number 1 after the BMW Championship, because how far out in front he is in the points. That's $23 million. That's what guys who play in the National Football League who catch passes over the middle make over the course of a season.
It certainly has gotten a little skewed, and I think the general average golf fan is sick and tired of hearing about how much money these guys are making, so I think that's why the Tour and the media outlets aren't pushing that money.
I think that's fair. But it used to be something that it was a wrinkle where it's like, well, there's a lot of money they're playing for, and now that's kind of been lost. And I don't know if it can be reclaimed. You may be right that it can't. All right, so with that being said, you don't think so, it's over.
Nope.
All right, let's get to some of these storylines. What's the biggest or best storyline over the next 3 weeks as it relates to this series of events?
Personally, I'd like to see somebody that's way down make a run. The name that comes to mind is a Chris Kirk. He's one of the guys that played himself into the playoffs. Yeah. I'd love to see Chris Kirk make a run and give himself a shot at the Tour Championship. I think that would be a fantastic story.
He is, to his credit, I remember seeing him early in the week at Memorial, and he wound up missing the cut there. And this was somebody who was right around 130 in the FedEx Cup standings. And since then, he has been plowing the field, progressing, and then obviously went from being the one guy who was outside, who played his way inside. He's had a very good, as we look at him now, he'll start the FedEx Cup playoffs there at 61. He's a great story. Matty Schmid making the final, 3 birdies, 16, 17, and 18 to hold on to his position was a nice little story. What about you? What is the biggest, best storyline over the next 3 weeks?
So I think Xander Schauffele has made the Tour Championship every year since he's been a member, since 2017. He's also an Eastlake specialist. Loves that golf course.
Yes, he is.
And so sitting outside the top 30 right now, it's hard to move in these events where there are no cuts. You have to finish top 5, top 10 to make any real substantial jump. So I think for me, will we see Xander Schauffele at Eastlake? And if he comes in there 28, 29, 30, can he go ahead and finally get that FedEx Cup title that he's probably deserved in other different formats he would have won it a couple times?
You see him there at 42. And I think that there are a lot of people, his teammates on the Ryder Cup team, the captain of the Ryder Cup team, and that gets me to what I think is the biggest and best storyline. it's the Ryder Cup and all of things, and the tour may not like that, but they have to live with it. It's a Ryder Cup year, and the truth is that for all of the results that we get starting this week, and obviously we're going to know the top 6 after the BMW, that storyline to me, we're going to talk more about that, are we not, than anything else?
100%.
Let's say Chris Gotterup finishes 3rd in Memphis. Are you kidding? You think that I'm not going to start the show on Monday beyond talking about the winner, getting to the ramifications of the results of this week on that roster? Don't you think that that's the best and biggest? It is to me.
Yes, I mean I was kind of keeping it towards the playoffs, like it was structured, but sure, yes, the Ryder Cup definitely. You kind of came top rope on that one.
I mean, that's why this is interesting for the tour, is that it's not their property. But I think in a Ryder Cup year, the tour has got to swallow hard and realize that it's okay. They're your players. With the exception of Bryson DeChambeau, it's all the guys who represent your tour who are going to be front and center at Bethpage. And yes, I know that they want everybody to focus on Memphis and Caves Valley and Eastlake and who's winning and winning that money and winning the FedEx Cup title. And of course, that is going to be where we start. We're going to get to the impact of results and what it means about that roster immediately, are we not?
I mean, I know he and I have had the conversation for the last 3 weeks, and I mean, you're talking about Gotterup. I'm taking Cam Young right now over Chris Gotterup. I mean, Cam Young's got more experience. I mean, I know we've got a Ryder Cup conversation.
Yes, we do.
I'll stop and pause it there. But yes, we've been talking about it every day.
I think it's great, and I think that, look, the coexisting of the PGA of America and the PGA Tour, I think it has as much harmony as it's ever had. I think they work well with each other, and I think in this particular case, it's okay for the tour to realize how big this monster is, and to just, I don't know how they necessarily overtly embrace it, but I think it's okay. With that being said, in terms of the best result for the tour over the next 3 weeks, what is it? Whether it's somebody winning this event, somebody else winning that event, what is the best scenario for the tour that they get over the next 3 weeks?
Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy winning the FedEx Cup.
One or the other?
One of the faces of the tour.
Okay.
One of the 2 faces of the tour.
I mean, I agree with you, but I said that I'd like to see somebody from off. I mean, me personally, I'd like to see Chris Kirk. I'd like to see a Cinderella come down and take down one of the big names Sunday at Eastlake, and just to show like the FedEx Cup, we haven't had a Cinderella in a long time. It's been the New England Patriots winning the Super Bowl. It's been dominant. It's not the New York Giants as a wild card taking down the undefeated Patriots, and that's what I want to see this year.
Here's the thing about Cinderella. Midnight always comes, and Cinderella turns into a pumpkin. We like underdogs, but we also want them to be biodegradable. We want them to go away. Seriously, it's just true. The NCAA tournament, it's like, oh my God, look at that 15 seed. Oh no, they have to play the next game?
Right.
Can't the higher seed then go play whoever it is? Here's what is the best thing. Scheffler plowing through and winning all 3. Come on. If he wins all 3 events, that's another 7-win season. We have not seen anything like this since Tiger, 99-2000, when he won 8 times in 99, he won 9 times in 2000. 2006, 2007, he did the same thing again, winning 7 times, winning 8 times. If he backs up a 7-win season by winning 7 times again this year, and he emphatically, which I think he's already done, has separated himself from his peer group, I think he's become far more interesting this year to the general public. I think people in golf realize that he's a thoughtful guy. He's a very interesting star who doesn't necessarily care about the celebrity part of what he does. Him winning all 3 events is the best thing. Is it not?
Yeah, I mean, I said it. I think I said them winning the FedEx Cup.
One or the other.
One or the other. But yeah, I think that would be, I mean, as far as storylines for the tour. Yeah.
You think he'd win Player of the Year?
I don't know. All right, that Ryder Cup discussion, because whether it's Cam Young, Chris Gotterup, neither one of those guys had entered the chat until the Scottish Open. We take a deep dive into what Keegan is thinking and where Keegan sits in terms of his own roster, and also Europe, and why they might go full, let's just do what we did in Rome all over again. It's great to have Johnson and Brendon for the whole show on a Tuesday here. Golf Channel, of course, Channel 92 as well on SiriusXM's PGA Tour Radio. Back with the boys right after this. Back in on this Tuesday edition of Five Clubs here on Golf Channel, also on PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92, Sirius XM. This segment brought to you by Peter Millar. Very proud to be outfitted for the last 15 years by the leader when it comes to apparel through your lifestyle. Whatever you need, they've got you covered. The fall line, every single day there are more items available at petermillar.com. Wagyu Filet on a Tuesday, their show on Monday nights on Sirius XM's Channel 92. That, of course, Brendon de Jonge, Johnson, Wagner. Guys, let's do big Ryder Cup discussion here. The Keegan thing has been fun. It has been, and I think it's been really worthwhile to listen to all these different perspectives from people who actually captain teams on trying to do this and maybe trying to do both, which really has not been realistic for anybody in terms of them being good enough playing-wise. And now here he sits, and a month ago, it was a lock. Is it still a lock that he's going to be a playing captain?
I think so.
You do?
I do. I said this here a couple of weeks ago, that there's still not 12 guys that are more equipped to deal with the Ryder Cup and deal with the pressures of the Ryder Cup. He's been there. He's proved himself in that pressure cooker that is the Ryder Cup. I still think he's a lock on that team.
I agree. And when you look down the list, the rookies that are going to be on that team, you've got Spawn, Henley. I think Ben Griffin's probably going to be on that team.
I'm with you.
And then you've got Goddard and Young. And I think one of them will be on that team. So you're talking 4 rookies, potentially 5, and you're going to need veteran leadership in that team room. Now, he'll be in that team room anyway, but I think he's poised. He has been more relevant in the game the last 2 years than Jordan Spieth, as much as I hate to say it.
That had to really hurt.
It did hurt to say that. But I would rather right now have Keegan Bradley play on that team than Jordan Spieth.
Okay, and I think most people share that sentiment. A couple things. And I've been, and it's not about picking sides. I just don't think it's something that you can do either one to your best ability if you make a choice to do both. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, he'll only play in the afternoon. What does that even mean? You're conceding something already. Yeah. You're compromising the total construct of your team if you're resigning him to one session because he has other responsibilities. You're making your team less flexible and it has less depth if he's not available to play at any point. Isn't that fair?
I think that's very fair. But I mean, think about how many players are going to play 3 matches anyway in a Ryder Cup. And so to have that on the table, I think it frees you up to get more people in those other sessions. I agree with you. I don't like that comment, but I can see why it's made. Because the likelihood of a player in their early 40s going 5 sessions is not happening.
No, it doesn't. Very few. Look, Scheffler, strong possibility. Rory, strong possibility. Maybe Rahm beyond that. 4 seems like max for anybody. The other thing was at the beginning was this thought, and it was projected specifically by him, that he would not pick himself. If he was in the top 6, then he would have to make a choice whether he was going to be a playing captain or recuse himself as either the captain or as a player if he was in the top 6. Now he's 10th, okay? And since he won, he's finished tied for 40th, tied for 41st, tied for 30th, and a missed cut at the Wyndham Championship. So he's actually gone from 9th to 10th. So he's backsliding in the standings. He's now 10th. He has to pick himself. Are we saying it's okay for him to pick himself because of the uncertainty of the back half of that roster, which we didn't think was going to be that uncertain at the beginning of the year? Is that why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly why. I mean,
so it's a comfortable rationale for him to pick himself because he's got so much inexperience potentially on the back half.
But he does need to show a little bit of form through these next couple of weeks. He needs a couple really solid weeks to really justify that as well. Like if you get a couple of those guys that are slightly below him that play very well these next couple of weeks, then that changes the story again.
Okay.
Because who are you going to put in there? You're going to put in Sam Burns, Patrick Cantlay. They're both well behind him. Wyndham Clark. I mean, we're talking Cam Young and Chris Goddard. We're talking all these guys as potential picks who are behind Keegan Bradley. Like in years past for President's Cups, they've just gone 7 through 12, right down the list.
They have.
I mean, if that was the case, he'd be on the team.
Yeah, which I'd again, this is their team. And they can construct it any way they want, and that's why it's unusual and it's fun to examine, to be critical. What if he's 13th? Does that matter? Does that line of demarcation between 12 and 13, is that just semantics to you guys?
I think he needs to be top 10.
You do?
I do.
So if he's 11th or 12th, you then will say that he shouldn't be on the team.
I'm not going to say he shouldn't be, but I think it would be more of a stretch for him to pick himself at 11, 12, or 13.
Well, if he drops to 13, then you've got a lot of guys that are playing very well these last few weeks, so then you're starting to pick those hot hands. Yeah. I mean, for him to get passed by 3 people, all those guys would have to play really well.
Okay, let's get to the thing that cost him in most people's minds, and he said it himself. Hey, I didn't quote, I'm paraphrasing, play the game. I'm not in the boys network. I'm not in that old boys network when he got passed over the last time around. What if all the old boys network turns up again? Did he succumb to the old boys network, the one that deprived him the last time?
I don't see that happening from Keegan. I see him.
You don't?
I see, as of now, I see either Goddard or Young on that team. And remember, Cam Young was passed over 1 spot ahead of Keegan in 23. Cam Young was 9th on that points list. Keegan was 10th. So I think I do not see him doing that, to the point where we've been talking a lot about Colin Morikawa. As bad a form as I think he'll be on that team.
You do.
But in as bad a form as he is, I could see if he doesn't do anything in these next 2 weeks of the playoffs, Keegan just sort of pulling the plug and saying, well, it's kind of like what Luke Donald said to Matt Fitzpatrick. You're not on this team. I need to see some stuff. That's what the conversation needs to happen with Colin Morikawa.
I'm with Johnson on that one. I think you've got Morikawa and Cantlay. I think you're going to see one of those 2 picked, and then you've got Young and Goddard, and I think you're going to see one of those 2 picked.
Okay, what if Morikawa and Cantlay are both on the team? Is that a reflection of leaning into the idea of whether it's comfort with Cantlay and Schauffele, or the idea that there is value in experience and having both these guys on the team? Look, Colin Morikawa is one of the best players in the world, but he hadn't had good form here for a while, and he's not good at something that they actually have pretty good depth at. And if you look at the putting stats where he is deficient, the United States has a decided advantage in that statistical category over the guys from Europe right now. If you look at the top 30, the United States, of guys who might be on the team, including Sam Burns, who's the highest ranked putter statistically, even Scheffler, who's become very, very good statistically putting-wise. If both those guys are on the team, does that say anything?
I would say it would certainly make you think the old boys network is
What if
the
you
real
add
thing.
Spieth to that?
I forgot to put McNeely in as a potential rookie as well.
Absolutely.
There's strength there. If you were to leave Ben Griffin off of that team for someone well outside the top 15, that would be a travesty, given as well as he's played. And Ben Griffin's what, 7th or 8th on that points list right now? I think Ben Griffin's got to be on that team, and that's putting you at 3 rookies. So. Potentially, I mean, I know you think rookies are okay.
I totally
fine,
do.
But it's got to be a balance.
Yeah, if you look at real modern history in terms of the performance of rookies, whether it be Europe or the United States, home or on the road, they've comported themselves exceptionally well. There are a lot of examples of guys. You just don't know how guys are going to respond to the environment. I had no idea if Tony Finau was going to stand tall, and in Paris, you know what? He played his ass off. Again, Sergio, 1999, Zach Johnson. I'm like, okay, how's this going to work out? And he played very, very well. Chris DeMarco. You can remember. You start tossing these names out, and you go, you're right. He played well. He played well, and he played well. Even Ricky Fowler in 2010, he didn't win a match, but he had a bunch of them, including that singles match when he was 4 down with 4 to go. Rookies, to me, I do not go, oh my, they got too many of them. Doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
Doesn't bother me at all. All right. So the last thing with respect to Europe, this is fascinating. The United States has a million different things going on. Europe is bringing the same captain, and are they bringing the exact same team, including the last name of the one guy who will be different, but he looks exactly like the guy he's replacing?
Yes, exactly that. Change an initial. Change an N for an R. That's it. That's it. It's the same 12 guys except Rasmus for Nikolai.
And with the way Rory McIlroy talked in Rome about, and he has a ton about Ryder Cups, how winning an away Ryder Cup is one of the hardest things to do in sport, and they're coming to Bethpage. As an American, and fan of golf, you should be concerned right now.
Really?
I think the European team is incredibly strong. I think there's too many question marks on the U.S. team, and it's home field advantage. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
The American team, they're not going to sign autographs. They're not going to do media above what they have to do. Europe is going to go out there, and they're going to sign everything.
They're going to do what they do.
They're going to do what they did at Oakland Hills.
The heck out of it.
Exactly.
They're going to do what they do at Whistling Straits when they turned up wearing Green Bay Packer colors. They're smart. They're clever. They have great touch and great feel and understanding of all of it. The one thing that a lot of people, which I think has missed the mark forever, too many people lean in on world rankings and statistical stuff that is based on strokes gained performance, stroke play performance. If you look at the United States compared to what appears to be the European team, the United States has had better performance this year. I'm not saying it doesn't matter at all, but I think it's grossly overrated. They are comfortable in a confrontational environment. And I think them bringing the same team is perfect for this. Mm-hmm. Don't you? The fact that Roy said immediately we're going there to do it. And by the way, who knew that it was going to be the exact same crew substituting Erasmus for a Nikolai? Everything else is the same. Play that music from the Blues Brothers. Seriously, they are getting in that squad car and they're driving to Long Island. All of them. With their sunglasses on. I think it's awesome. All right, we're going to take a break. When we continue here, more to get to in terms of things that transpired over the course of this season and also surprises we might see between now and next year as well. It's great to have Wagyu Filet, Johnson and Brendon on a Tuesday here on 5 Clubs Golf Channel and also on SiriusXM's Channel 92 PGA Tour Radio. Back with the boys right after this. Great to have you with us on this Tuesday, 5 Clubs Golf Channel and on SiriusXM's Channel 92 PGA Tour Radio. This segment brought to you by Golf Pride. When it comes to having options of the grips you want on your clubs through the bag, including that reverse taper putter grip series, they've got it all for you. The best materials, the best products, the best product line. It is Golf Pride. With me, Wagyu Filet, their show on Monday nights, of course. Big parts. Brendon is doing more and more studio work on Golf Channel, and you will see Johnson Wagner starting on Thursday with pregame for the first playoff event. Wagyu Filet on Monday nights on PGA Tour Radio. All right, boys, let's get to some stories that maybe deserve a little bit more attention over the course of what we've seen. You know how hard it is to do what these guys do. And we focus on the top of the food chain. But I think there have been a lot of really good, fun, inspiring stories this year. Give me a story or two that you think deserves more attention.
The rise of the amateurs. The fact that these guys keep showing up, and we talked about this a little bit last night, that when we were playing, an amateur would get a spot in an event, and if he made a cut, it was a massive story. Now these guys are contending. Every time these guys get in an event.
Top 10s, top 15s, top 5.
This Jackson Coyven, top 6 in his last 2 events, and I mean, just looks so comfortable in these big moments. The rise of the amateurs and the youth of this game.
It coincides with something that I know that you had some trepidation about, and that was the PGA Tour pathway to PGA Tour U pathway to whether it be the Korn Ferry Tour or the PGA Tour. It's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah.
That in the last year and a half, we have seen from Ludwig Oberg to Gordon Sargent to Luke Clanton to Jackson Coyven have tour cards in their back pocket before succumbing and relinquishing their amateur eligibility. That's incredible.
Let's throw Nick Dunlap out there, too.
Nick Dunlap,
who's
another
now a
one, who
two-time
won an
winner.
event as an amateur. No, that's very good. Yeah, it's a good one. How about you?
I don't really want to follow that up. It's
excellent.
For me, a couple guys coming off pretty serious injuries, having great career years. Harris English, first and foremost.
Yes.
Picks up his first win since 2021 at the Farmers Insurance Open. I think he parred the last 12 or 13 holes on Sunday. 2 runner-ups at majors, PGA and the Open
Championship.
Championship.
Be on the Ryder Cup team.
He's going to be on the Ryder Cup team, which he was on when he had 2 wins in 2021. For him to come back from the hip issues that he's had, I think has been remarkable. And the the other one is Bud Colley. Bud Colley's run this year has been impressive, especially with the fact that he's got David Geese on the bag, who caddied for me for a year and a half and basically retired me.
Biggest upgrade ever.
To overcome a caddy like Geese and to make a run in the playoffs like he is, I think it's been pretty amazing.
Bud Colley, I remember seeing his agent, Chris Mulhop, on Thursday, early in Bud's round of the players. And he told me his scenario with respect to how many starts he had on his major medical to secure his employment for the balance of the year. And the guy jumps up, never went away that week, finished 6th. You add to that a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th during that torrid stretch that he had. He's a great story, there's no doubt. Harris is another one. Let me give you a few more. These two guys have a chance, reasonable chance, to both be at Eastlake, and I know you guys don't because you're their vintage. Justin Rose and Lucas Glover are both 45 years old. 45-year-old guys don't go to Eastlake much, okay? And they're both right now inside the top 30 to start the playoffs. I thought that Justin Rose's Ryder Cup career was over. And not only does he make the team in Rome, the guy makes everything, okay? And he made the bomb at Medina, which I thought was like, oh my God, the light is on and things are getting weird here. For those two guys to be 25th and 27th is a testament to professionalism, work ethic, commitment, belief, all of it, which is what all of you guys try to be every day, which is not easy at times because the game can strip you of things like your belief in yourself. Those two guys, I admire the hell out of both of them.
At 45 years old, to be able to handle the physical load of playing professional golf a season, I mean, what Justin Rose has done with that recovery RV that he's got with sauna and cold plunge, and I mean, it just shows how much effort it takes to play 30 weeks a year. It's in travel and it's tough.
That RV is not some van from like Bad News Bears breaking training. This has got it all, which again, it's commitment. It's doing all the things you need to do, the little things every day. So when the gun goes off, those 45-year-old bodies can stand up to guys who are literally half their age, swinging 120 miles an hour. I think those two guys, let me give you another one as well. How about Brian Campbell? Here's a guy who's sharing a house at Costa Mesa Country Club with Jake Knapp 5 years ago. They're looking at each other going, really? Is this ever going to happen for either one of us? Jake Knapp pops last year, obviously. And here's Brian Campbell, who wins in Mexico and then doubles it up. This guy, again, you never know. You won 3 times on the PGA Tour. This guy's won twice this year. And he was not somebody anybody knew anything about at the beginning of the year.
No, he played at University of Illinois. I knew that.
Yes.
He had his card years ago, and he's a good dude. But, I mean, we talked about it. When he won Mexico, I think I said, well, that'll be his one PGA Tour win. So he proved a lot of people wrong.
He did. He's missed more cuts than he's made. He's won twice.
Exactly.
All right, give me some guys who have gotten to a new level, Brendon, who you think this is not an aberration, that they have found a new footing in this game, that they are here for a while. Who are they?
Robert McIntyre for one. I think Robert McIntyre is going to be around for a long time. And then someone that Johnson renamed last night, Sepp Straka, who is now Giuseppe Straka somehow.
Why Giuseppe?
I thought Sepp was short for Giuseppe, but he's Joseph. It was short for Joseph. I messed up.
He's Austrian. He's not Italian.
That's what Brendon said.
I think Sepp Straka's around for a while.
Sepp's been at this level for a little bit now.
Yeah, but I mean, now having multiple win seasons,
Signature
series events, up by the top of the FedEx Cup list.
Yeah, third in the FedEx that's tall cotton right there. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, but you're right. I mean, it's not like he's burst like a Ben Griffin. Is that one of yours?
Ben Griffin and Mav McNeely for me.
Like this is not like flukish. Like, hey, nice, and then retreat to 60th in the FedEx Cup. They're top 20 players. You think? for a while?
I do think so. I think the way Ben Griffin carries himself on the golf course, he is full of confidence. Not arrogance, not cockiness, it's confidence. And that's not something that you can teach. That's not something that goes away easily. I think he's going to be there for a while. And Maverick McNeely, you've been seeing it for the last 3 or 4 years. It's been this steady progression. He's been going up, up, and up, and I think he's there to stay as well.
Yeah, Maverick is somebody who, look, he's a wonderful putter. And you speak of professionalism, commitment, doing all the little things. I did an interesting thing with him at an event, and he was talking about how he has aligned himself with athletes from other sports and how they spend time trying to understand how you get into a flow state, which is not something you consciously think about doing. Anyway, I think he's a very interesting guy. Let me give you another one. Tell me your thoughts about where Andrew Novak has put himself in this game. Is he somebody who you think can sustain top 25 status on the PGA Tour?
He got that win, and he's kind of flattened out a little bit.
Has.
I like his game.
Got a lot of attention as a result of it.
I really like his game. Yes, I put him kind of in that Mav and Ben Griffin. I almost put him down on that list.
Okay.
I think we're going to see more of peaks and valleys from Andrew Novak. I don't see him as one of those guys that's really going to be consistent at the top of this game.
Okay. Most impressive thing he did all year, other than, multiple seconds, including a playoff loss to Justin Thomas, was him knowing that Tumunga Biaka-Batuka wore number 21 for the Panthers back in the late 90s. When he came on the show, I almost fainted. I'm like, how do you know that? You were like 3 years old. Look, he's a huge sports junkie. All right, give me some disappointments. This is tricky. Look, this game goes away for everybody for periods, including the best players. You can find pockets of performance that ebbs. But give me some guys who you're really surprised they've had the kind of years they've had.
Tom Kim, for one. I thought Tom Kim kind of the darling of the last couple President's Cups. Yeah, he's outside of that well outside that top 70. He was a guy that I really thought was ready to push on to the next level. Got 3 wins on the PGA Tour really quickly. He's had just a shocking year, really.
And he finished outside the top 50 last year, so what that would have looked like had he been in all the signature events may have been a little different. But
That's right, he finished, 666 at Memphis to play his way out.
Wyndham Clark for me, 49th in the FedEx Cup right now, and he's played better as of late. I just think when you're in that top 50 and you're playing in all these guaranteed money events, it's hard to fall out of it, and he's right on that edge of it. And not to mention the fact, he's had some on-course and off-course sort of temper tantrums that are a little disappointing as well. Kicking in the lockers at Oakmont.
Sure.
I get it. I understand frustration. And I think that was a low point for him. And I think we've seen him hit that valley and start coming up on the other side. And I think that's why the play has gotten so much better here in the last month.
Yeah, whether it be him, I mentioned about Andrew Novak. Look, when you perform the way that he did and he wins that event alongside Ben Griffin, media comes a-calling, and then you start getting bandied about with respect to the Ryder Cup. Those are interesting times for players, and it speaks to something that Scotty Scheffler has spoken about. He didn't dream of the media responsibilities. He dreamed of the competition. But with performance comes these other ancillary things, and finding the balance and managing time and learning how to say no and all that stuff. Let me give you a few other names, because you thought, and I get it, Akshay Bhatia could be on the United States Ryder Cup team. I think he's somebody who, and it's not about poking you. I look at him. I thought he would have a bigger year.
I thought he would too.
I'm gonna poke you with this one. Austin Eckroat.
Austin Eckroat.
Number one, got him 107.
That's definitely a poke straight at you, because I know how highly you think of Austin Eckroat. Yeah.
Again, I say that knowing that, look, this is finicky stuff, but still, Eckroat's another one.
Eckroat definitely is, winning twice last year. I thought he was going to just take off and be in that running
Me too.
for a Ryder Cup this year, in that 12 to 15 range, showing form. Didn't show up in majors, hadn't really shown up much at all this year. That's been a disappointment.
Nick Dunlap.
Nick Dunlap, 135. Sahith Theegala, 147th. Do you just go, hey, look, this happens?
Dunlap's a young kid. He's got this exemption, and he lost his driver. He completely lost it.
He's had some extraordinary moments this year, like what happened in the first 2 rounds of the Masters.
Yep.
And to his credit, shot a zillion and then turned around and played it out of his mind the next day. Yeah, you're right. I mean, when things get squirrely and you start having kind of full swing, yippish moments, it can get very, very vulnerable. Is that what it was for both those guys?
Sahith
He's had some injuries.
Yeah.
He's dealt with some injuries.
Dunlap was the full driver
yips.
Yeah.
And I mean, still a disappointment. One wins twice, and then is kind of off the radar.
Okay, give me somebody who is not in the playoffs this year who will be in the Tour Championship next year.
This young guy, Michael Thorbjornsen.
Did you take that off my paper?
I couldn't even read your
I got a
writing.
list. He's on my list.
I
He's
cannot
down my
read your
list.
writing. Yeah, Michael Thorbjornsen.
Okay, good one.
I think he's going to be really, really good once he just refines it a little bit.
I like Michael Thorbjornsen, also Keith Mitchell. I think it's time for Keith Mitchell to stop being average and start being great, because he's got the tools to be great, and it's shocking that we're still waiting for Keith to get his second win on the PGA Tour.
Okay, I'll give you two from totally different viewpoints. Billy Horschel won. We've seen guys who whether it's Harris English, but the injury guy, nobody, as you guys know, and all these guys work their fannies off. Billy's a worker. His determination to come back and be what he thinks of himself, which is, guys won a lot of golf tournaments. I would expect him to be on the doorstep of being back at Eastlake next year. Luke Clanton. Luke Clanton has a stench about him of belief. I love that kid. I love the way he talks. I love the way he walks. I think Luke Clanton's going to be at Eastlake next year.
I can buy that.
All right, we're going to come back. We'll get some more things in here on this Tuesday with the boys, Wagyu Filet, and of course, their program Monday nights on SiriusXM's Channel 92, which you can listen to, as some of you are right now, and of course, Golf Channel as well. We're back with the boys right after this. Welcome back into Five Clubs. This segment is brought to you by Pinehurst. If you've not been to Pinehurst, then your resume of playing golf is not complete. It is the cradle of American golf with 10 golf courses and all of the off-course offerings they have, the choices you have in terms of your accommodations, the funnest 10 acres in golf, which is the cradle right there at the main resort. There is always a good motivational reason for you to be booking a trip to go to Pinehurst. All right, guys, a couple other items before we cut you out of here. Give me somebody who you think has a reasonable chance. And again, they've restructured everything. We're not going to have a staggered start at Eastlake. Whether you think they're going to have a great 3 weeks or is kind of a sleeper to win the whole thing. Who do you got? I
mean, I'm going sleeper on this, and he's a true sleeper. It's Sam Stevens. Sam Stevens, Oklahoma State Cowboy.
Nobody has been more bullish on Sam Stevens since you called his action. Was it in Puerto Rico?
It was in Dominican Republic 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
He went on to finish second at the Texas Open the very next week. He's got 3 seconds, 2/3 in a really short career. He's going in at 28. He plays Bermuda golf courses really well, and so he's going to get a crack at Memphis and at Eastlake. I think Sam Stevens. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go win the FedEx Cup, but I think he's going to be there.
That's a good sleeper.
Yes.
That's a good one.
I think Matt Fitzpatrick's on a rise. He played terrible the start of the season, was
really
absolutely awful. Then since the PGA, I think you're top 10 at the PGA. Since then, he's been on a nice run.
So here's his angle. This guy gets the top 10 in terms of his pick this past week. He's crowing about it on Twitter.
Right.
Like, really? I mean, you've had the worst year imaginable.
I got time. I got time.
It's tied for 8th, and he's like, I'm on a roll. Look, he is, I think we all agree, he's going to be on that European Ryder Cup team, and his form is coming around at the right time. This is not a big sleeper, but I think that because his year has been flatter than we thought it was going to be because he was ascending so quickly last year, Ludwig. I think Ludwig is, I think he's a sleeper in respect to us talking about his impact he's going to have on the European Ryder Cup team. He finished 8th at the Scottish, and that was with him having some moments which gets to, like, I think what has kind of summed up his year, like bad holes, making triples, knocking himself out of contention. Like these bad 15 or 20 minutes have deprived him of really having a chance to contend much this year, but he does have a win at his signature series event that was displaced, the Genesis.
Yeah, I agree with you on Ludwig. I mean, he's just got to eliminate these big numbers. It's, I mean, the guy's talent is unbelievable, but you got to clean it up a bit.
Yeah, and he will. And look, he's still, I mean, this is just his second full season.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like Nick Dunlap. We have to give these guys grace. It takes a while to get into these positions. And I mean, when he won the Genesis, did he move all the way up to third in the world?
He's third or fourth.
I mean, that's like crazy territory to be thrust in and not even having played 2 full seasons. So I think he'll be there. I like that.
Okay.
I'll consider him. I don't know if a sleeper is the right term.
I know,
but
he's not, but I don't know what. Is there a definition, an Urban Dictionary definition of sleeper?
I'll find it next time.
Sure you will. All right, let's end it with a little synopsis on Scheffler. Let's say he wins 2 of the 3, and one of them is, where is this guy in terms of, is he unequivocally the best player that we have seen since Tiger?
I think so right now, yes, without a doubt, even if he doesn't win any of the playoff events. And I think we're just at the beginning of Scottie Scheffler.
The window is wide open for him.
The window's wide open. He's just getting better and better and better. And the way he's winning golf tournaments, he is decimating fields. Like his dominance, I think we're at the beginning of his dominance. And I don't know who, I thought it was going to be Ludwig that was going to be the next one to knock him off that pedestal. But
I mean, the guy's not showing any signs of slowing down at all. And if you put yourself in there every single week, you're going to keep, which he does. I mean, hasn't been outside of the top 10 since the Players.
That's right.
It's unbelievable to get up for every single week the way he does. I'm with Johnson on this one. I mean, who knows where it's going to go?
Yeah, when you start to pile up Varden trophies and you start to win Player of the Year in ways that are emphatic, not to mention winning individual tournaments, and you start to look at total production. If he top 10s, which he's likely in these 3 events, that's 16 top 10s for the season. And if he wins a couple events, that's 19 wins in his career, and he's done all this in this condensed period. Boys, always a treat to be with you guys. And of course, their program on Monday nights on Channel 92, Sirius XM's PGA Tour Radio. He's in studio this week. He's just going to kick back, maybe play some golf because he's in love again with the game. Have a great Tuesday. We will see you tomorrow.